that is algorithms and flowcharts. So before we talk about any programming language, any software or coding, we must understand one very important thing, and that is a computer is not intelligent. So it does not understand situations, emotions, or intentions. It only understands clear and exact instructions. So I'm repeating, it only understands clear and exact instructions. So the real question is not how to code, but how do we tell the computer what to do is the main question. So this is where algorithms and flowcharts come in. So they are tools that help us think logically and plan a solution before writing any program. So we can say an algorithm is basically our thinking written in steps. And if I talk about flowchart is the same thinking shown using diagrams. So if our thinking is weak, coding will also be weak. So remember one thing, programming starts with thinking, not typing the code. Okay. So what is the exact meaning of algorithm? An algorithm is defined basically as a step-by-step procedure to solve any problem. And these steps must be written in a proper sequence and should be very clear. So the most important thing to understand here is that algorithm is not written in any programming language. It is written in simple English like statements so that even a non-technical person can understand it. So let me give a daily life example. Suppose you are explaining to someone how to withdraw money from an ATM. So how will you say? First, you will say like insert card in ATM machine, then you have to enter PIN, then you have to select amount and then collect your cash and so on. So if the order is changed and the process will definitely fail. So that is exactly how algorithms work. Order matters, clarity matters. So steps should be in proper order. Then only your process will execute according to your expectations. So algorithm simply means doing a task in a fixed logical sequence of steps. Now the question is why we need algorithms? Why can't we directly write a program? Yes, if you are having any idea, write in chat box. Why can't we directly write a program? Yes, right answers. So if we start coding without an algorithm, the logic becomes confusing. Error will increase definitely, and program become difficult to understand and modify. So algorithms acts like your rough work in mathematics. You are doing a rough work in mathematics. So algorithms acts like your rough work. So we solve the logic first, then write the final answer. Another important role of algorithm is communication. One person can explain the logic of a program to another person easily using an algorithm, even if they don't know the same programming language. So, algorithm basically is a thinking and communication tool, not just a programming step. So, next is your uses. Algorithm is used for not only in computer programming but in many fields such as your research, management, engineering, and decision making. So in computing, algorithms help us to analyze the problem properly, break a large problem into small steps, and design a structured solution. And it will be helpful and useful to convert logic into code easily. And one very important point is like algorithm is language independent. The same algorithm can be written in any language. You can write the same steps in C language, in Python, or in Java, or any other language. In any other language, you can use the same steps. So that's why algorithms are considered the foundation of computer science. Next is characteristics of a good algorithm. An algorithm must possess the different properties, different characteristics it must be having. So basically, not every set of steps is a good algorithm. The good algorithm must satisfy certain conditions, certain features it should be having. So first is finiteness. The algorithm must end after a limited number of steps. An algorithm that never ends is basically useless. Second, main characteristic is definiteness. So every step must be clear and instructions like do it properly have no meaning for a computer. Third one is input. An algorithm can take zero or more inputs. And another feature is output. Algorithm must produce at least one output. And the last one characteristic, last one property is its effectiveness. So each step must be simple and practically possible. So these characteristics ensure that the algorithm is correct, reliable, and usable. Okay, now I am giving you one example. Like you have to write the steps to make tea. Means you have to write the algorithm to make tea. Write in chat box, please. How will you write? I want to check that. So, right, like you have written a few steps how to make tea, that is basically algorithm to make a cup of tea. So, similarly, same procedure, same steps we have to follow to write any program. So here we show that even making tea follows a clear algorithm. Start is there, perform steps in order, and end is there. So the purpose of this example is not tea, but to show that we already follow algorithms in daily life as well. So computer science only makes this thinking formal and systematic. Once you understand this example, it will realize that algorithms are not difficult at all. Already you have written all the steps to make a tea. In similar way, you can do algorithm, you can create algorithm of any task, right? Now we will talk about basic structure of an algorithm. So most algorithms follow a common structure, means start is there, input is there, processing, decision if required according to your situation, according to your problem, output is there, and is there. So this structure act like a template. Whether you are calculating marks, calculate salary or profit, the structure remains almost the same. So understanding this structure makes writing algorithms much easier. Now, one example is there, algorithm to find the largest or greatest of the three numbers. So how will you write this algorithm? So basically, this kind of problem, this kind of task introduces making logic. Decision making logic. How you take decision? How will you complete the task? So start is there. So you have to find the largest of three numbers. After start, you have to take three numbers as input. You can say A, B, C. Then you have to check the condition. If A is greater, then it has to be print A. Else print B. Check the condition. Then B is greater. Then print B. और A बड़ा नहीं है, B बड़ा नहीं है, so obviously C is greater, then print C, and is there. So the computer compares three numbers step by step. It doesn't assume anything. It checks every condition logically, and this will help to understand like use of conditions, use of logical operators, and stepwise comparison. So this is very important because it builds the base of programming logic. Now we will discuss few advantages of algorithm. Algorithms basically have many advantages. They make the solution easy to understand, easy to debug, and easy to modify. If there is a mistake, we can correct the algorithm instead of searching through long steps of code. So, algorithm basically gives logical clarity, which is the biggest advantage in programming. But advantages are there, so disadvantages are also there. So, few limitations of algorithms are there, like algorithms have limitations for complex problems. Algorithms become lengthy and difficult to follow. They also lack visual clarity, especially when loops and multiple decisions are involved. So because of these limitations, advantages are there, but disadvantages or limitations are also there. So, due to these limitations, we use flowcharts along with algorithms. So, flowcharts are there. Flowchart basically is a diagrammatic representation of an algorithm. Instead of writing steps in text form, we show them using boxes, using arrows. So flowchart basically help us understand the flow of control visually. They are especially useful for beginners and for explaining logic to others. So what is the purpose of flowchart? Basically, flowcharts are used to visualize logic, detect errors early, to understand sequence of steps, and to communicate process clearly. So they are widely used in industry, research projects, and system design. So flowcharts are drawn before coding, basically. They help in planning the complete solution in advance. Once the flowchart is correct, writing the program becomes much easier. So to draw a flowchart, few symbols are there and they are having specific meaning. Flowcharts use standard symbols. Like different shapes, different symbols are there. Oval shape is for start and end. Rectangle is for processing. Parallelogram for input and output. And diamond is for decision. Arrows for flow direction. And these symbols are fixed worldwide, which makes flowchart universal. Okay, so now when to use flowchart, when to draw flowchart. Flowcharts are basically useful when the logic is very much complex, when a new system is being designed, and when documentation is required. So they help both beginner and experienced programmers as well. So this is example how you can convert algorithm into flowchart. There are steps written one side and flowchart drawn at one side. So this slide shows how an algorithm written in steps is converted into a flowchart using symbols. And this is very important from both practical and examination
Attention,
point of
please.
view, like
Remember to
how
collect
you
your
can
phone.
convert algorithms into flowchart. And flowchart is very, very easy to understand rather than algorithms written as a text. This is a flow chart to print, pass, or fail. Similarly, this is another example. Find the sum of two numbers. One side, steps of algorithms are there, and one side, pictorial representation is there. So, flowchart is very much easy to understand and much clearly readable. Another one is this is another example, medical service example. So this is basically real life example shows how decisions are taken step by step in a system. It helps to understand that flowcharts are used in real world applications, not only in exam purpose. Okay, lot of examples are there. This is another example to calculate profit and loss. So this slide basically combines all concepts. Input is there, processing is there, decision and output is there. Basically, it reinforces complete understanding of flowchart logic using a simple mathematical example. How to calculate profit and loss by using algorithms and by using uh, flowcharts. So next one is flowchart advantages as well as its disadvantages. So flowcharts improve clarity, communication, and problem solving skills. They help in identifying errors before coding. So visual representation basically always improves understanding. So advantages, if we talk, it's standardized, visual, systematic representation, easy to understand is there, but few disadvantages are also there. One main is it's basically time consuming, hard to modify. Okay, so as advantages are there, disadvantages are also there. So algorithms and flow charts basically teach us how to think logically. Once logic is strong, learning any programming language become easy. Okay, so you have to remember logic is first, coding is later on. This is the main point. So that's all about flowcharts and algorithms. So we have covered unit 1. So we will start unit 2. So before this, I will we will start in next lecture unit 2. So from this PPT, I will ask few questions. You have to write the answers of few questions as I am asking related to algorithms and flowcharts. So be ready. You have to write only in chat box, please. First is what is algorithm? You have to write the definition of algorithm in chat box. Yes, please mute yourself and all of you need to write in chat box. The answer of algorithm, please. Okay, 93 scholars are there, and I have received only few answers, around 10. So what about others? Okay. So an algorithm is basically a step-by-step procedure used to solve a problem. Now the next question is an algorithm a program? Algorithm एक program है? Yes or no? Yes. Write in chat box quickly. Yes. No, algorithm is a basically logical plan, not a program written before programming. Okay. So what is the main purpose of an algorithm? What is the main purpose of an algorithm? Okay. To clearly define the steps required to solve a problem is the main purpose of an algorithm. Now tell me, what is a flowchart? Yes, flowchart basically is a graphical representation of an algorithm. Now the next question is, which symbol represent start and end in flowchart? कौन से सिंबल से हम रिप्रेजेंट करते हैं? Yes, oval symbol. And which flowchart symbol is used for decision making? Yes, diamond. What does a rectangle represent in a flow chart? रेक्टेंगल किसके लिए यूज करते हैं हम, क्या रिप्रेजेंट करता है फ्लो चार्ट में? यस, प्रोसेस और कैलकुलेशन. गुड. So I'm sharing PPT and questions. So algorithm flowchart questions I have shared in your group, as well as algorithm flowchart PPT. So I hope you have received both files. So thank you all students. Thank you very much. All of you can leave the class. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Thank you,
Thank you,
ma'am.
ma'am.